late 1990s, even though the rules had not yet changed, we were starting to look at email and other forms of electronic data, but predominantly email. And at some point there, in the probably late 90s, the use of keywords. So instead of just having a lawyer randomly looking at every email, use of keyword searches to find the relevant responsive material were prevalent, but it was not done very well. Led me to issue a decision in William A. Gross construction case where I basically said, if you're going to use keywords, and at that point that was really all there was, you still have to talk to the client to find out the terminology that they might use that you wouldn't expect. And you can't just blindly pick keywords and assume that since you could use Google to find a Chinese restaurant in San Francisco, you knew what keywords to use to find responsive documents. By 2015, I wrote in the Rio Tinto against Vale case, having studied the case law since the Silvermore and up to the time of Rio Tinto, and I concluded there that, quote, by now it is black letter law that if the responding party wishes to use TAR, it is free to do so. The Silvermore and the early cases were dealing with what the vendor community now calls TAR 1.0, simple learning, where you needed to have a seed set to train the computer algorithm and then several more rounds of training. And once the training was complete, then the computer just ran once and categorized all the documents from most responsive to least. And there was a concern of, computer GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, that if the training set was not done properly, it would enable the responding party to hide possibly hot documents, responsive documents that really would demolish their case. And so I think that is obviated now with TAR 2.0, also known as continuous active learning, the latest flavor of TAR, where basically every document that is reviewed continues to train the system so that it returns the most responsive documents based on everything they've learned up to that point. So there is no seed set. Every document that is reviewed and found to be responsive trains the computer. Rule 1 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, we are trying to do things to make the process just, speedy, and inexpensive. So whatever analytic tools one can use, and again, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure discovery does not require perfection. Requires one to do a reasonable job. One also has ethical responsibilities to the system, not to play games. And if there is a tool that enables one to do that, whether that's TAR, whether that's clustering technology, whether it's using a combination of tools, whatever will make things go faster and or cheaper, to me, is better. My last e-discovery opinion on the bench basically was Fisher against Forrest, where I said, the rules changed in December 2015. I wrote Fisher in 2017. Rule 34B, objecting to discovery, was changed to say you had to object with specificity. No more of the boilerplate, and every lawyer can probably easily cite the old boilerplate. We object to this request for all the reasons in our general objections. We object for all, the fact that it's overbroad, vague, we don't understand the words in the request, blah, blah, blah. Notwithstanding this objection, we'll produce what we damn well feel like when hell freezes over or the court orders us to. Now, I took some liberties with that, but The rule was changed because the number of times lawyers would come into my courtroom, other courtrooms, and they'd be fighting over the responses to the requests. And after a few minutes of discussion, a discussion they really should have had before coming to court, it turned out that all of that was put in because it was a CYA, and really whatever they had responsive to the request, they were producing.